What's up, guys? KC3PDB here, or Antonio here, back for another amateur radio net night video. So right now we're gonna wait for the net control to get this net night started. I guess let's see if we're at good connection here. All right, we are. All right, now all we have to do is just wait. It should be happening at any time now. There we go.
I'm operating as W3OC, net control of the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. This radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on 146.73 MHz, WA3 PBD repeater of the Gateway FM Association. Membership in the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club is not required to check into the net, as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Green Oak, PA, zip code 15047. P.O. Box 225, Green Oak, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the internet's World Wide Web at www.trarc.net. www.trarc.net. At the moment, we don't have any radio club meetings scheduled due to the due to the coronavirus epidemic that's going on. But the radio club still has its super raffle going on. If anybody's interested in that, it's a raffle in which you can win any one of three radio transceivers or a cash prize. More information is on our website, www.trarc.net. Okay, we're opening this net for check-ins as an emergency or priority traffic at this time. Unheard. Does anyone have losing the decided key? Any radio amateurs have recently passed away? Okay, that's always a good thing to hear. Not hearing any more solid keys. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to take some check-ins here in a moment. When you check into this radio net, please give your call sign. When you spell out your call sign phonetically. And let me know if you have any comments or questions or anything from the net. At this time, I'm looking for the officers of the Two Rivers ARC wish to check in.
W3OC. Net control, please recognize Alpha Bravo 3, Juliet Tango, Jim, Port View. Hello to you, Chuck, and everybody on the net. No traffic, no comment.
W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Bob and Elizabeth Township. Evening, Chuck. Evening to the net, no traffic.
W3OC. At W3OC, please recognize Whiskey India 3 Romeo, Roger and White Oak. Good evening to all in the net, you, Chuck, and I hope everybody's mother had a good Mother's Day. And no further comment.
W3OC. Please copy. Kilo Bravo 3, Uniform Whiskey Charlie. Steve in Boston. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone else on the net.
Okay, I got from the board of directors Alpha Bravo 3 Juliet Tango, Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Whiskey India 3 Radio, and Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Whiskey Charlie. Are there any other members of the Two Rivers ARC board of directors wishing to check in? Not heard. All right. Okay. As previously mentioned, hope everybody did have a good Mother's Day activity. Okay. With that, I'm looking for stations operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County.
W3OC. Oops.
Well, Oakland, no comment.
W3OC? W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Delta Bravo. Antonio, sorry from Pittsburgh. Good evening to you, Chuck. Good evening to everyone on the net. No traffic. Hopefully they got me.
Kilo Charlie 3, Alpha Sierra November, Dawn, no traffic. Good evening, Chuck, and all on the net. W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Echo Victor Mobile. Denny in Plum. Good evening, Chuck. Everybody on the net.
W3OC. W3OC, here's Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra Papa, Dan out here in Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net.
If they didn't get me, I'll do my call again.
W3OC, DWA3PBD. Name here is Andy, portable in West Mifflin. W3OC. This is Whiskey, Uniform 3 Uniform, Kurt and Elizabeth, no traffic.
Okay, thank you. I got Kilo Charlie 3 Papa Delta Bravo, Kilo
Okay.
Charlie 3 Alpha Sierra November, Kilo Echo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor Mobile, Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Whiskey America 3 Papa Bravo Delta Portable, and Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform. Anyone else?
Alright, so
portable,
they did
or
get
outside
me.
of Allegheny County?
Good.
W3OC. There's Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra Papa, recheck.
Already got you on the list. What, you need something special?
No, negative. I just must not have been listening well. Good evening, Chuck.
Okay, alright. Anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
W3OC. Please copy Kilo Alpha 3, Foxtrot Whiskey Quebec, Jeff in Greensburg. Good evening, everyone. No traffic.
Okay, Kilo Alpha 3 Fox Whiskey Quebec. Anyone else? Mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? Not heard? Alright. Okay, now we'll open up for general check-ins. Anyone else has a check and I can do so, call now.
W3OC. This is November 3, Papa Sierra Uniform. Chuck in the South Hills Road, Chuck and everyone on the net.
W3OC. W3OC, please copy Whiskey 3, Sierra Hotel Foxtrot, Steve in Pitcairn Heights. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everyone else on the net.
W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 India Romeo Golf, Ed in McKeesport. Good evening to everyone on the net.
W3OC. W3OC, this is Kilo Bravo 3, Lima Yankee Bravo, Mark in Westview. Good evening, everyone. No traffic.
W3OC.
Located in Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. No comment.
W3OC. See? This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim in Carnegie. W3OC. Please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel Bravo, Jim in McKeesport. Good evening, everybody on the net. No traffic. W3OC. This is Whiskey 3, Lima Zulu Radio. Jim in DeVosburg. Good evening, everybody. No traffic. Awesome.
W3OC. This is W3 Sierra Yankee Radio, Bob in White Oak. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening to all on the net. No traffic.
3OC. Please copy Kilo Bravo 3, Kilo Bravo Hotel, Craig in Castle Shannon. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. I have traffic.
KW3OC.
Here's Kilo Alpha 3 Zulu Japan Whiskey, Dave and Plum. Good evening, Chuck.
W3OC. This is Kilowatt Alpha 3, Juliet Kilowatt Sierra, Sue in Wilkinsburg. No traffic. Over.
W3OC. W3OC, this is K3SJL, Kilo 3 Sierra Juliet Lima, Sean, West Mifflin, no traffic.
Okay, got a bunch in there that time. Thank you. I got November 3 Papa Sierra uniform, Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox, Kilo Charlie 3 India radio call, Kilo Bravo 3 Lima Yankee Bravo, Kilo 3 Hotel India radio, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo, Whiskey 3 Lima Zulu radio, Kilo 3 Delta Papa Papa, Whiskey 3 Sierra Yankee radio, Kilo Bravo 3 Kilo Bravo Hotel, Kilo Alpha 3 Zulu Japan Whiskey, Kilo Alpha 3 Juliet Kilo Sugar, and Kilo 3 Sugar Japan Lima. Anybody else?
K3SQP, Frank, North Huntington.
W3OC, WA3TFS, Jim in Brentwood.
W3OC. Copy November 3 Bravo Juliet Alpha, David, West Mifflin.
Okay, that time I got Kilo 3 Sugar Quebec Papa, Whiskey America 3 Tango, excuse me, Whiskey America 3 Tango Fox Sugar, November 3 Bravo Japan Alpha. Anybody else? Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you all for checking in this evening and for just helping give you something to do this evening while we sit there and kind of wait out this scourge thing or this virus thing that we have going on. I think like most of us would like to see it go away, that's for sure. Activities-wise, like as I mentioned before, the two Rivers Club's activities, most of our activities are currently suspended because of the close quartering and trying to keep people distance away from each other based on these state guidelines that have been going on. Our next scheduled activity is actually in June. We have an amateur radio exam session scheduled on the 9th of June, but you know, I don't have any more information on that as it is right now. Okay. Okay, here Hamfest-wise, not much going on until you get into midsummer. July 19th, the Somerset County Club has their Hamfest scheduled at the Somerset County Technology Center up in Somerset. I've been checking their website to see if there's been any change in that, and there has not been, which is a good thing, I guess. So that's the next one scheduled. Of course, after that, Union Time Amateur Radio Club's 71st Gap Fest is scheduled on August the 8th. There's nothing new on that as far as cancellation or anything. The Cambria County folks have a Hamfest scheduled on September 19th at the Revlog Volunteer Fire Company in Cambria, Revlog, PA. We'll have more on that and information on that as we get a little bit closer. Let's see, what else is going on in the area? I know several of the clubs have been invited to participate in one of those Zoom teleconferencing things. I don't have a whole lot of information on other than what I've seen in emails that are coming around. And pretty much an invitation thing, I think. But they're going to be doing something to do with the shortwave broadcasting tour. Broadcasting station, TWW, I think. I don't have a lot more information other than that, but it's coming up this week, I believe. It's on Wednesday, I believe. Okay. Okay, also on the information on the amateur radio exam stuff, there's still not much going on in this area that I'm aware of. The ARL has an article up there again about what some groups are doing. Now some of the states are allowing some activities. I know their latest one up there dated the 11th said that there was a test given on April 26th County, Oregon, and also on April 25th there was one session given in Oklahoma. Both were outdoors, from what I've read, and they were pretty much with the candidates being in automobiles, and they were following social guidelines. So none of these were online, as like some folks have been kind of clamoring and hoping would open up. That's kind of all I've seen. You can go to AORL's website, www.aorl.org, and read that article up there. It's very interesting. Let's see. That's kind of what I got here. Oh, let me get over to Craig. KB3 KBH. Please go with your comment.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. W3OC, and this is KB3 KBH with an announcement about the Railfan Net. Railfan Net gets together on Thursday evenings at 9:30. We are changing frequency, at least temporarily. Starting this Thursday coming, we will be on 145.47 and 144.87 repeater. You set your machine to receive on 145.470, to transmit on 144.870, and we need a tone of 71.9 on the transmit. I'll repeat that. Again, the Railfan Net will be moving to the 145.47 repeater. Receive on 145.47. You transmit on 144.87 with a tone of 71.9. We talk about everything from trains on up through airplanes. We've had a lot of discussion about the Boeing 707s, or 737s. So come and join us. Thanks for the time, Chuck. KB3 KBH.
Okay, Roger. KB3 KBH and W3OC. Okay, anybody need any requests or information or anything like that from Craig? Okay, alrighty. Well, hopefully we get some folks over there for that, Craig. Okay, well let me flip some switches over here and let's see what Newsline's got tonight. W3OC.
Good evening.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2219 with the release date of Friday, May 8th, 2020 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST, a creative approach to license tests in Norway. Islands and the Air goes ahead, and a new way for kids to talk to the International Space Station. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2219 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, amateur radio's first independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, Stephen Kinford, NAWB.
We begin this week's report with a look at how amateur radio operators around the world are continuing to meet the challenge of life in lockdown. We begin with a creative approach in Norway that tells the world we're not out of the woods yet, literally. Here's Ed Durant, DD5LP, with that story.
In fairy tales and fables, the forest is known as a place where magic can happen for children. But recently, a trio of 3 adults in Norway also discovered some forest magic. With COVID-19 restrictions affecting the way people can gather, the woods became the only place where the amateur radio licensed candidates could safely take their exams. They had just completed their coursework with the Norwegian amateur radio club LA3F and were about to sit for the exam when Norway announced a lockdown due to the pandemic. The club needs to find a way to comply with Norway's rules that fewer than 5 people assemble at a distance of at least 2 meters apart. The requirements also called for frequent hand washing. Ole, LA2RR, suggested the woods near a local scouting cottage, and the Norwegian regulator agreed. With paperwork and plenty of hand disinfectant in tow, he advised the candidates to dress warmly as they took up the challenge in the 10 degrees Celsius temperatures. So what's the magic in all that? All three candidates passed, and now LA5EUA, LB8QI, and LB8RI are being welcomed on the bands as new licensees. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ed Durant, DD5LP.
Meanwhile, there are still canceled events, and one of them reflects a proud tradition involving ships formerly serving the military. Here's Jim Damron, NATMW.
Hams who were eagerly awaiting the chance to operate from a battleship for Museum Ships Weekend in June will need to wait until 2021. Organizers have canceled the event, which was scheduled to be held on June 6th and 7th. The Battleship New Jersey amateur radio station said the event was being called off to protect the health and safety of everyone involved, noting that many of the participating ships had already been shut down in response to the pandemic. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Damron, NATMW.
In Texas, HAMCOM, which was to have taken place in early June, has also been canceled. Announcing the cancellation, HAMCOM President Bill Nelson, AB5QZ, said the event will take place in 2021 on June 17th to the 19th. There's good news, however, if you're getting ready for the Radio Society of Great Britain's annual Islands on the Air contest. It's still going forward on July 25th and 26th, but will be adhering to safety guidelines during the pandemic. That means only single operators will be participating using their home stations. There will be downloadable certificates instead of trophies this year for the winners. In another change from last year, signal reports will be mandatory for each QSO. There's also good news for fans of the MicroHams digital conference that's been held each year since 2007 by the Microsoft Amateur Radio Club. It's going online as a free virtual streamed event on YouTube on Saturday, May 9th, starting at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Presenters will include David Rowe, DK5, DGR, the author of Free DV, and Codec 2, and John Wiseman, G8, BPQ, author of BPQ 32. The conference will be recorded on YouTube and can be viewed later by anyone who may have missed the live stream. New Zealand amateurs are also returning to popular Backyards on the Air, or BYOTA, for one final event on Saturday the 9th of May as the nation moves out of lockdown. Operators will be on the air from 0000 UTC to 0200 UTC, although hams will be sorry to see it go. It is a sign that lockdown is soon to be lifted, and there's a return for the summit in their future. In a dramatic rescue in Rapid City, South Dakota, firefighters freed a man who had become trapped on a friend's amateur radio tower, pinning his arm there. The 66-year-old man, who was not identified in local media reports, was about 20 feet above the ground, and a tool known as the Jaws of Life was used to free his arm from the retractable part of the tower. According to media reports, the man had climbed the tower on April 29th to assist his friends. He was not wearing any safety equipment at the time. There was no update on his condition or the extent of any possible injuries. Newsline reminds listeners to please be careful and use proper safety procedures when working on towers. A recent contact between school kids at the International Space Station succeeded by making use of something new. It's called a multi-point telebridge. Dave Parks, WB8 ODF, explains.
It was an ERAS contact with school children that was like no other before it. An experiment that worked. On April 30th, a group calling itself the Northern Virginia School Group in Woodbridge, Virginia, successfully engaged in a short question and answer session with astronaut Chris Cassidy, KF5KDR, aboard the International Space Station. It was accomplished with the first-time use of a multi-point telebridge contact. Some 200 miles above the planet wasn't the only participant in relative isolation. The students, some as young as 5, were asking their questions from home base lockdown, as Chris, using the space station call sign NA1SS, responded. The connection between Earth and sky was made with the help of Fred Kimmerer, AB10C, who relayed the questions from his Southwest New Hampshire QTH. John Klutt, K4SQC, moderated the event from his own lockdown QTH outside Atlanta, Georgia. ERAS chairman Frank Bauer, KA3HDO, called the event a great strategic move for ERAS. A link to the recorded video of the contact, posted on the new ERAS YouTube channel, can be seen in the printed script of this newscast on arnewsline.org. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
The FCC is getting a new look in anticipation of its relocation. Kevin Trotman, N5TRE, brings us those details.
The U.S. Federal Communications Commission is getting a new QTH, and to help furnish its new home, the agency is adopting a new official seal. The new design was created by Uma Sankar Arumakan, a director at the IT company NCI. It will be showing up on the agency's website as well as a stationery, business cards, and other materials very soon. The date of the move has been delayed by the COVID-19 lockdown, but the contest to create the new seal went forward, with submissions sent in staffers throughout the agency as well as its independent contractors. According to a press release from the FCC, the design pays tribute to the communications technologies that are changing the globe. It contains 18 stars on a shield in recognition of the number of bureaus and offices the agency has. The FCC announced its move last year from its offices in the southwest section of Washington, D.C., where it has been since 1997. It is moving to the northeast section of the nation's capital, where, according to InsideRadio.com, the new space will cost less in rent and is 30% smaller than the current offices. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kevin Trotman, N5TRE.
Just a reminder, don't delay. We're down to the final weeks before Amateur Radio Newsline begins reviewing nominations for this year's Young Ham of the Year Award. This honor is given to a talented young amateur radio operator and is named for Newsline's late co-founder, Bill Pasternak, WA6ITS. Nominations are being accepted until May 31st. Nominate a talented, community-conscious amateur 18 or younger living in the U.S. or Canada. For details in this year's nomination form, visit our website, arnewsline.org. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WA7ABU repeater in Willamette Valley, Oregon, on Saturdays at 6 p.m. local time.
W306.
Amateurs in Germany now have extended access in the 6-meter band until the end of 2020. They can use 50 to 52 megahertz on a secondary basis, all modes, using horizontally polarized antennas. Contesting is permitted, but not portable operation. In the subband between 50 and 50.400 megahertz, Class A license holders may operate at up to 750 watts PEP, and holders of an E-Class license, 100 watts. The rest of the band remains at 25 watts PEP, maximum output for both classes of license. There's nothing like international cooperation to get a problem-solving job done, even in a virtual environment. John Williams, VK4 JJW, has that story.
It's been called the Global Space Apps COVID-19 Challenge, but what it really amounts to is a virtual hackathon. Scientists, makers, coders, and anyone who's technologically minded are among those invited to crunch some data to find solutions to issues impacting the planet as a direct result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this time, they're doing it all in a virtual environment. Working in teams, the problem solvers will have 48 hours to analyze data gathered from satellites that have been observing changes on the Earth and its environment. The project is being overseen in the US by NASA, in Japan by JAXA, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and by ESA, the European Space Agency. The agencies will judge the entries. According to a press release, the hackathon will focus on how people and the economy have responded to the virus and will then try to devise solutions to their challenges. The hackathon's taking place over a 48-hour period on May 30th and 31st. Organisers believe the outcome of the challenge could be of great benefit to Earth science specialists at each of their agencies. Participants will study data that includes information gathered from the missions of Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, and Sentinel-5P from the European Copernicus satellite program. JAXA will make data available from its satellite missions, including GOSAT, GOSAT-2, and GPM/DPR. This is not the first Space Apps event to be held. In fact, Space Apps 2019 had more than 29,000 participants in 71 countries. This is, however, the first global hackathon being organised as a special event to be done virtually. The annual Space Apps event that traditionally involves team collaborations at various sites around the world is scheduled to take place in October. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm John Williams, VK4 JJW.
Unlicensed use of the 6 gigahertz band is now permitted in the United States. Jim Dameron, N8CMW,
approved the unlicensed use of frequencies on the 6 gigahertz band to enable operation of the proposed Wi-Fi 6E standard. The vote on April 23rd had been watched by Intel and Broadcom, two major industry players looking to expand smartphone and tablet capabilities. Broadcom's first Wi-Fi 6E chipset was released in February. Until the vote, only licensed users could operate on the 6 gigahertz spectrum. They included telephone companies and utilities, cable TV, relay links used by newscasters as mobile links for doing live reporting. The FCC has also approved unlicensed use of the entire 1.2 gigahertz spectrum for low-power devices used only indoors. Another plus for Wi-Fi users. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Dameron, N8TMW.
Alright guys, well, there's another class I need to go to. I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notification bell. And this is 73rd from KC3 PDB. 73rd.